going to vote on this, at least let it have some type of realistic benefit to the state. To give $50 million away in this body is unresponsible. And again, I want to hit you with what happened the last 3 years. The Boeing deal. It was only 3 of us that voted against that bill because we had to get Boeing here, because Boeing really wanted to come here. And then what did we see Boeing do? Boeing stayed in the state that they was already in because it made no fundamental benefit for them to move here because it costs too much to build out infrastructure. We talked about Cerner. I voted against the Cerner deal. You look in Kansas City is having issues currently right now with Cerner. And again, we talk about we don't have dollars in this state to adequately take care of our elderly citizens or to adequately take care of our disabled citizens or even to allow those whose parents brought them here illegally, that are illegal here, to actually go to school because we don't have the money for that. We don't have the money to fix the roads. We don't have the money to fix the bridges, but we have $50 million, really? $50 million to give away to GM for not one new job? Not one new job. And this is good legislation. This is a good bill to pass. I understand why so many people are talking in the chamber, because to vote yes on this, you have to be unconscious about the bill. If I was in a situation in which I had to vote yes for this, I would be talking and running around so I have an excuse for why I gave away $50 million in taxpayer dollars and we can't provide money for voter registration. We can't provide money for disabled voting booths because the state doesn't have the money. But we got $50 million to give away to GM in a corner of the state that's not going to employ anybody from the majority of people that represent this body. But you want my citizens in my district to pay. We heard the gentleman, the chair of the election district, stand up and get on his high horse last week about an amendment that would cost dollars to guarantee people can have the access to do petitions. But that costs too much to the state. But it's nothing. It's nothing to give $50 million away to a company that has proven that they move whenever their tax incentives disappear. My district is a perfect example. The Leeds plant in Missouri, 4,500 people work there. You know where they work at now? Not at GM. You know why? Because GM left. You know what GM left me in my district? Warehouses and contaminated land, right? With oil and stuff that's all in the ground. They can't have new development unless it's EPA dollars to clean it up. But we want to give $50 million away. We want to pat ourselves on the back and say we did something. GM isn't even talking about leaving. For the people in the eastern part of the state, if you read the Post-Dispatch, they didn't say they was running out. But again, we want to give $50 million away. So thank you for making me a fiscal conservative. Because when I came in this body, the old Republicans that was here called me a liberal Democrat, big government. But I vote against all big government stuff in here. I vote against all tax incentive giveaways in here because somebody has to be rational. And for those that are listening, show your rationality. Vote down this bill. Vote in favor of the amendment. And if you really think it's a problem with it, change the language of the amendment to guarantee that those companies that come here and that take taxpayer dollars have an obligation and a duty and a mandate to stay here and employ people here with the tax dollars that they're benefiting off of people that work every day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.